Welcome to Wealth Think Tank Television. I'm your host, Dr. Ralph Steele, and we are here today excited, happy, and let me tell you something. I got a great show for you today, but before we go into the show, I want you to know that we provide estate planning, we provide annuities, trusts, and anything that you need that can help develop your financial portfolio, your wealth, get rid of taxes, just a whole array of things, folks. Now, we also do financial literacy because sometimes people need to know more information, including young people, about wealth. But that's not why we're here today. We're here today, and I have a special guest today, folks. Let me tell you something. A phenomenal gentleman, an amazing man, an expert in his own right, a man with a great heart, a sense of humor, an actor, a movie star, a gentleman, an American. Let me tell you something. I want to introduce to some and just share his time with others. On our show today, Wealth Think Tank Television, Mr. Richard T. Jones. Welcome to Wealth Think Tank Television.
So, Dr. Steele, that was probably the best introduction I've ever received. So I'm just going to, I kind of just want to let you talk. I mean, my goodness, that was, it was amazing. Woo, thank you for that intro.
When you're talking, looking, and sharing with someone of quality, and especially a gentleman, what can you say? Television audience nationwide. Now, I want y'all to know this show comes on, Richard, at 6 p.m. every Sunday, Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's there. And it's, like I say, it's a nationwide show. This show highlights great people, especially folks who do great things. And listen, it was no choice. I mean, when we were trying to say, wait a minute, we can't have him on. No. No, he has to be on. Mr. Jones got to be on.
Well, I appreciate that. I tell you, I feel like I need to write you a check in some way or fashion because I never saw myself as that. But I appreciate every kind word you just said, sir.
But by the way, not necessarily you, but television audience, if you want to keep this show on, by the way, you can also be a sponsor. You go on to www.wealthlegacystelevision.com, click on, if you will, Wealth Pay, and you can be a sponsor or you can be advertised on television. By the way, our advertisers are Nexus International and MediationWorlds.com. Those are our two main sponsors. We also have podcasts, Mansfield here as well. And so we are grateful to have those sponsors and those partnerships. But listen, that's not why I'm here. Mr. Jones, who is Mr. Richard T. Jones? Where are you from?
Dr. Steele, I am from California, basically. I was born in Japan. My dad played baseball over there.
Wow.
So I was born in Kobe, Japan. First 4.5 years of my life, I was over there, and then I came back to California. And I was raised in Carson, a little bit in Palos Verdes, but mostly in Carson, California.
Wow, that's amazing. You had some connection. I'm a former naval officer. I was partly stationed in Okinawa, Japan. Been to Iwakuni, Yokosuka, Tokyo.
That's great.
I mean, just love Japan. Just the people there, just so great and everything. But who inspires you to be what you do? And then tell our television audience. Some of them already know anyway. But who inspires you?
When it comes to the craft of acting, there's a lot of great actors. I've always been inspired by, of course, Denzel Washington.
Wow.
More importantly, Sidney Poitier.
Yeah.
loved watching the work of Marlon Brando, especially in his early days. I'm a big Morgan Freeman fan, of course. I'm a big Robert Duvall fan, and probably the best actor I've ever seen work would be probably Meryl Streep. So she's just amazing because, you just never see a chameleon as she is. But I'm a big fan of Dustin Hoffman. I can go on and on with people that really speak to me when it comes to acting. But my biggest, I always tell people when I speak, when I have the when I'm fortunate enough to speak in the crowd, I tell people, I say, look, my profession is acting, but my passion is Jesus. Wow. When I think about Jesus Christ, he really just fills me up with everything I can possibly use and need. Every choice I make, I try to ask the Holy Spirit, what's the best choice in this particular character? Which direction do you want me to go? What do you want to be seen in this particular scene? Like I always tell people, I don't have to be the good guy in the movie. I can be the bad guy as long as the message is good.
Right.
As long as the overall message.
Right. The foundation.
Yeah.
The undergirding.
Exactly.
The undergirding, how it will touch and influence and impact people.
Yes, because we all have roles to play. Everybody can't play the good guy. Somebody has to play the heavy. Somebody has to play the opposite of the hero. So you always want to be a part of something great, whether it's the good part or the bad part, because either way, you want to play it honestly. You want to play it with authenticity.
Wow.
So I try to be authentic, and that's it. That's about it.
Right. But wouldn't you say though, Richard, if you're playing the good or the bad guy, mm-hmm. and then you're able to, if you will, shift and transition and change in those different roles and those different characters, wouldn't you say though that one can actually learn something, gain something, and then it touches your mind, heart, and soul because you're not just doing the same old thing? Oh
yeah, I mean, unfortunately, in our particular industry, everybody likes to categorize you. So when you do a role well, they want to keep you at that role. The industry wants to say, hey, let's max it out. If you've noticed, I played a lot of police officers, a lot of people of authority, judges, or, anything when it comes to authority.
Right.
I've actually had the privilege of playing a lot of those type of roles, detectives, cops. Now I'm on TV now and on The Rookie as a cop.
Rookie? On
the Rookie, yes.
Yeah.
ABC.
NBC?
ABC. Oh, no, yeah, don't get me in trouble. Yeah, so I'm on The Rookie now, and I play a police officer.
And what time that comes on?
Well, it's on Sundays. It's 10 o'clock it's 10 o'clock Eastern and Pacific time. It's always interesting, but I love getting bits and pieces. There's always roles you can learn from.
Right.
Not only do you put a piece of your personality in that role, you also take a piece of his personality out of it, because the writers create something very, very interesting when I read it, and then but what can I help to the project?
Right.
I'm not here
investing.
I have to put something into it, otherwise I'm no good to you. I always look at if I'm salt and I've lost my flavor, then I'm good for nothing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I have to bring something to the table.
I totally like that because in my way of thinking, one of my really mottos or philosophies is that everything should be a mutually beneficial contact.
That's right.
Everybody should. If me and you together, we should mutually benefit from each other.
That's right.
Whoever's together.
That's right.
Whatever context it is.
That's right.
There's a mutual benefit in it. If not, then like you say, the salt ain't no good.
That's right. That's right. As a spiritual principle, a spiritual law, actually, in giving and receiving, there has to be
That's
both.
correct.
There has to be an even exchange. You know, I always talk about the exchange. There's always an exchange.
Right.
Even Jesus gave us an exchange. This is not a free. You know, everybody thinks it's just a give me, but
No,
it's
it's
not. Jesus gave us an exchange. His life for my life is not
Right.
just his life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so it's an exchange. So everything from the grocery stores to buying a car to buying a house is always an exchange with some
Right.
type of money. So when it comes to doing what I do and being in this industry, is always an exchange. If you're going to provide this, then what am I providing
Yeah.
in return?
And what you're saying is so powerful because I read a book years ago and read several books, but in this context, one of the books I read was by Dietrich Bonhoeffer. I don't know if you
Never
know
heard
him.
of them, no.
Dietrich Bonhoeffer wrote a book called The Cost of Discipleship. In other words, it's not
It's not free.
It's not free. There's a sacrifice, and then I understand in anything in life that's successful, there is a sacrifice.
Has to be.
That's a godly principle.
Yes.
Even if you think about Jesus, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah. Anything that we desire in life, from a house to a car,
Yeah.
to a relationship, whatever you desire in the life, there has to be a sacrifice.
Well,
You're
yeah. Go ahead.
Even in a relationship,
That's true.
There is a giving of something.
That's right.
There's a giving of, and basically, what I've come to learn from what God has taught me, it comes to time. Is always related to time, whether it's finances,
Right.
whether it's a relationship.
Right.
Everything is paid with time.
That's true.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
you
So
can't buy it back
you
either.
can't buy it back. So the fact of the matter is, when someone gives you their time, whether it's in the form of money,
Right.
whether it's in the form of charity, whether it's in the form of just listening, that is an exchange.
It is,
You're
isn't it?
exchanging something. So it's very important for us to realize that it's like, what am I willing to give my time to?
Wow.
Because that's the most important thing of
Wow,
anything.
that's deep.
Yeah, who am I willing to give my time to, and why am I giving my time?
Right.
And what am I giving my time for?
Right.
Because even when it comes to money, money is related to time.
That's
I work.
right.
I always tell people, I don't get paid for acting.
Right.
I get paid for my time.
Well, you're tired.
I get hired for acting. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I get
right.
hired for my talent.
Right.
I get paid for my time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the way everybody is. You're going to get hired for your talent.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I
But you're going
got
to get paid for your time. Just like a lawyer, you get charged by the time.
That's
you don't
right.
get charged for the effort.
Well, see, I tell people I work 8 days a week, and they like, wait a minute, how in the world can you work 8 days a week? Well, when I tell them though, they say, tell me, how do you work 8 days? I said, the 8 days when I get paid. and I mean, they get it. They really get it then.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you triggered another thought with me. You remember Tina Turner when she sung the song "What Love Got to Do with It"?
What's love got to do with it?
And so now, when you're talking about time, then now in a relationship, for me is, so if you define a relationship, including time,
Yeah.
I define it as work.
Oh, yeah. Always.
Now, I'm not saying love is not involved in it,
No.
but it's really work between two people.
The funny thing is, as you get closer to God, you understand work is not. I mean, not work. Love is not what we think it is. So
Right.
love is not an emotional thing.
Right,
God has emotions, but He's not an emotional God.
right,
Okay, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
His love is not an emotional love.
Right.
So His love actually is a power.
Right.
His love has power. So when people say, "Oh, I love you," it's not just in word, it's actually in action.
Right.
And it's also in the effort, because love should change me.
right.
Your love should change me. If you love me, then it should change me. Not because you say it. It's not just something that, "Oh, I love you." Are you telling me from your emotional feeling? You have a feeling
Right.
of love for me?
Right.
Or are you telling me because I'm actually giving you something?
Right.
So without giving, love is impossible.
Right.
And if you don't give, and everything we give is time oriented.
That's true.
Okay, I only can give you what I have. What I have, I spent time to cultivate.
Right. And you can't really love unless it's unconditional.
You can't love.
It's
you can't love.
unconditional love, and I think that's how God love really is.
Oh, yeah.
It's unconditional.
If love doesn't have an effect on the person you're loving, then it can't be love. It has to have an effect.
It's something else. Then
There's
isn't
something
it?
else. It's called compassion.
Right.
It's called because a lot of times we think compassion or what's another word? Some type of affection.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We use these words and we say, that's love. That's not love.
Wow.
That's why they have other words for it.
Wow.
It's compassion. It says Jesus was moved
Right.
to love people
Right.
by compassion. So compassion moves us
Right.
to operate in that power of love.
That's a deeper form.
It's
though.
a deeper, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's not an emotional thing. That's why when you read the Bible, you don't see it really an emotional Jesus. You see a powerful one.
Right.
You see a compassionate one because he's moved by that. So people can pull on your compassion. You know what I'm saying? And compassion is emotional.
Right.
Affection is emotional. So somebody can pull off that emotion
That's
in you
true.
to make you say, you know something? Let me give you something. Just like it's no different than if you're going down the street and you see somebody homeless on the street and you look at them and they just sit there and they're looking at you, but their sign moves you to compassion.
That's right.
But I got to give them something.
Right. 'Cause
Okay,
if
my
without-
love is going to give them something.
Right.
It's not just going to be like, hey, I love you, be good,
Ex-
God bless you. Because they're like, how did that help that man?
It did not.
It didn't help that man.
You keep triggering thoughts in me. A lady came to me one time. She said, single parent woman had come to their church.
Okay.
And they needed some financial help.
Okay.
So she said, well, we want to pray for them first. I said, whoa. No. Wrong answer. Give them, if you don't want to give it, then tell her.
That's fine.
But if you sincere, give them what they need to help them. Then you pray for them.
Then you pray for them.
She said, well, we got to make sure that we're not giving drugs. I said, that's easy. What she need?
Yeah, right.
She said, well, she needs she's short on rent. I said, that's easy.
Yeah.
Write a check to the rent company, to her lease company.
Mm-hmm.
That's easy.
That's easy.
Okay, if she needs money, you can actually go to the store and leave an amount of money, because I've done it.
Okay, right.
And
For a person, yeah.
For a person, and they can buy, and you can make it so they don't have to buy no liquor or anything, but buy the chicken, the steak, the greens, the beans, and things that they need.
Yeah. And the truth of the matter is, if they really want to buy the drugs they're going to figure it out. They'll sell the food for money, for drugs.
Either way,
you know what I'm saying? Either way. So the fact of the matter is, you got to be just spiritual. It's not my job to dictate what you do with the
Right.
gift. I'm here to give.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, it's just like when Jesus would go and he would heal somebody and say, sin no more.
Right.
Now, he could go back and start sinning.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like Jesus doesn't have control over that.
Right.
But he's like, but you moved me to a place that I want to love you right
And
now.
he didn't refuse it, did he?
No, he did. Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm going to love you. Now, just like you said, I'm going to love you with what you need.
Right.
Then I'm going to pray for you and say, sin no more.
Right.
Because I know what you did to get to this position. Right. So, hey, I would advise you not to do that.
Right.
Okay.
Now you, as an actor, and you've done several movies and and over the years, so what would be three of what you would call the three top or movies that you like the most that you have been involved in?
The Wood, which I really
The Wood?
Yeah, The Wood. I had a blast making. I met Tate Diggs there. I met Omar Epps there.
Wow.
Very good men. I love the show I'm on now. I love The Rookie.
The Rookie?
Yeah, I love. I always say the word love, but I do love the individuals I'm working with now.
That's great.
My fellow castmates are one of the best. Our crew, our cast, our crew.
It's a good combination.
Yeah, producers, everybody.
Wow.
The studio, the network, everyone is in such a good place that
That's great. You can't
and it's
beat
hard
that.
to find, especially on television.
Sounds like that's a partnership.
It is. It is. It's a very special partnership. Everyone, there's a caring for people
yeah.
and people's success, and that's hard to find. Like I said, it's very hard to find, especially on a television show that you're around people all the time because you have so many different characters.
Not to interrupt you, but I'm glad to hear that because one of my things is, I was talking to someone earlier, and I believe that when people partner, and even though they can still be independent or interdependent, but when they partnership, everybody wins.
Yeah, it's a power in partnership.
Yeah,
It's a
everybody
power in
wins.
partnership. Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear that.
And I would say, why did I get married? Those they were,
Oh, that's a powerful.
very much a blessing in my life, in the life of my family. Just being on that show. I mean, being in that movie. I love a movie that I did. And when I say I love a movie, it's not about the movie per se.
I understand.
It's always about the people.
Right.
It's about the people and the relationships you made
Right.
within that time. And even though we may not, be in contact like we were back in those, it's still the relationship in those days. So there was a movie called Event Horizon that I did that was very special to me. Yeah, made.
Now, the movie Why I Got Married, that's the one that I first watched of you.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, I've watched that movie probably 3 or 4 times.
Oh, really?
Because but you could sense the connectedness of the people in there.
Oh, yeah.
You could sense the hearts of them, and it's not just something being filmed. It's a connection that's flowing.
Yeah, Jill was amazing because it was a very hard role for me to do. I really didn't want to do it, to be honest. It was like one of those roles I really didn't look forward.
Right.
At that time I was really, really trying to mold my life into the man God wanted me to be, and in that time, I was just like trying to stay away from anything negative, anything like that. And but just in prayer, I was led to play the role.
Right.
And I tell you, just it really just blossomed for me. So it was one of those things. And the people on the show, from like I said, from Jill, from Tyler to Janet.
But I want to do a short shift before we end this show.
Okay, let's do this.
And
Let's talk about this money.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this money.
Now, you have a trust.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit, television audience, about your thoughts on having a trust and the benefits of it, that you, as far as you know.
What I know so far.
Yeah.
First of all, I truly believe that it has been displayed to us that a trust is a way that everyone should live, actually.
Right.
I mean, trust is basically the way we move in our life.
Right.
I'm always going to go back to the Bible. So the Bible says, the just shall walk by faith.
That's right.
Okay, we shall walk by faith. Faith is a synonym for the word trust.
Right.
So we shall walk by trust. We shall live by trust.
Right.
We shall live by a certain way. A trust is actually set up the way the kingdom of God is set up.
Amen.
It is a place where you store things and that you can actually benefit from the storage of them. And then it becomes an automatic inheritance for everyone in that lineage.
Wow. And that is the grace of God.
That's the grace of God to it.
Par excellence.
Yeah, yes. The benefits of a trust is, there's so many benefits to it. I mean, one, what a way. I'm not a big tax guy. I don't think
blame
we
you.
should work for
I don't blame you.
the government. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I
Right.
think the government's supposed to work for us. We're not supposed to work for it. Okay.
Say that again.
Okay.
Say
government
that again.
It's supposed to work for us.
Wow.
We're not supposed to work for it. So that means they shouldn't get more money than I get.
Right.
Okay. They shouldn't get a chief cut of what I've earned.
Right.
They should get a reasonable. They should get a reasonable cut of service.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
I wouldn't pay my gardener half of my check. I
Right.
don't care how good my yard looks. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to be honest with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I would have to go. I'll be like, hey, man, you getting this much. I'll do the rest.
Right.
So I don't think with all we have to do
Right.
just in our normal communities and our simple community to make our livelihoods to be good, we shouldn't have to pay the government that much
No, we
of
shouldn't.
our money and
We
our
shouldn't.
income. So I'm not a big tax guy. Trust is such a good shelter from those things.
Wow.
You know, especially I live in California. California is
Wow. Tax.
tax. You know, forget the IRS. I'm worried more about my state. My state trying to beat IRS prices.
Right.
You know, and that's amongst the gas prices and the sale tax. And there's so many taxes, man. It's like, my goodness, I got in the wrong business. I should have been in the tax business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I should have created taxes. But you know, I'm a big firm believer of a flat tax. I think if everybody paid 15%.
Right.
If everybody paid 15%, then everybody, and then you don't have to worry about corporations, no write-offs, no
Exactly.
nothing. You get a check, you get 15% of your check.
Already there,
It's
isn't it?
already done. 15%. I think a flat tax would eliminate so many other questions about who's paying this, why are they paying that. But until that happens, you got to get shelters.
Wow.
You got to find a way of, wait a minute. There's a reason why Rockefeller is still Rockefeller, and even though he's passed away, his family are still called the
going in there.
Rockefellers.
Wow.
All right, they're still called
Wow.
the Rockefellers.
That is so great.
You know, why is there certain families that are known, the Kennedys,
Right.
because of their wealth? They're not known because, and granted, they've done marvelous things to our society, but that's not why they're known. Okay, we don't know. The Kings like that. You know what I'm saying? We know Martin Luther King, but we don't call them the Kings.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Exactly.
why? Because the wealth wasn't related to them.
Right.
We only know those. We don't, even when it comes to, we were talking about England. You remember earlier today we were talking about the Queen, and we're talking about the royal. You know, they're known not because she's just a queen, because of the wealth of a kingdom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The wealth.
Right.
I said, so wealth is why we're known.
Right. And I'm not cutting you off, but we're running out of time, folks, on television. But I want to thank Mr. Richard T. Jones. And there you have it, folks. Watch that show on ABC, The Rookie.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, then you also will be in good, trusted fashion. and so watch that show. And we want to thank him for being on Wealth Think Tank Television. And there you have it.
Can I say something before
Absolutely.
we leave? I just want to thank you, Doctor, because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't know a lot of what I know now. So I thank you for just guiding me in the right direction and blessing me with that. It was something that I wanted to say on air. And I really appreciate that. You've helped not only me, but my family and the generations after that. All right. So I thank you for this, not only this program, but just for who you are.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you.
And I'm going to be, like the rest of them, I'm going to be watching that show too.
I hope so.
And absolutely. So we're wrapping it up.
Okay.
I'm your host, Dr. Ralph Steele on Wealth Think Tank Television.